line graphing computers to anything through connection, understanding shapes and anomalies, how you put things together through wires. Powerful how we use these things through connections, how we use the interforce connection of space and time through its position. I go in a clocking mechanism system of time positions. You can sleep between maybe 6 to 8 to 12 hours, depending on your job. But it connects to you through form, through a dream, through your perception, activates everything through your connections. So you're connected to the matrix, which is connected to everything through realm. It formulates in all division levels of 3, 6, and 9. So we're going to get more into the connections of all levels, how the matrix is coming into a new form, of a new dimension, of a new time clock. The center core positions, the YouTube software that I sent you, okay, is everything through its connection of the brain simulation, how it activates everything through line signals. It's really interesting that we come into these times. But before we get started, thank you all the subscribers and viewers that have been watching my channel. I really appreciate it as they're coming into a new self-discovery of a new tesseract, which is a new cube rotation center that's put into all community of fifth dimensional system. The rotation cycles and everything through the sun is on its coloration standard points. It's connected to its dimensional realm. This is where it gets extremely complicated because you have to understand the interfacing through the interlocking connections of the moon, how it comes into a program setting, into a human behavioral system, a 5-dimensional system through activation. So basically, what's going to happen is that the actual matrix cube is going to centralize everybody's dream sets and going to change them into reality systems and put them in their program setting. All connections to tracking devices, anything through connections of all those levels of deceitfulness, or anything through the connection when it comes into people that have been abducted through tracking devices and all that connections. I can take that out of your brain locations or anything through position. So understand you get these things when you're sleeping through AI, and what AI is through traction. They go into your dream positions, get into the dials, get into the grades of that connection line system. So my healing will take you out. I've already healed quite a few people already, taking the tracking device out of them. That's all connected to your time codes and positions. So what happens is when it runs out, you have to change everything through the cubic meters. Now it comes into the altimeters and the time frames. So in position, your dream set location is in a time clock position of space and time. It's connected to the interline system, to your subtechnical system of your spine and everything through activation of your dreams, how it goes to its projections. So when it runs out of the tracking device, they put in a new one, right? Each time, because you guys are on each time code system that's connected to everything through space and time of its position. Understanding your birthing system is everything through activation. So it's kind of like understanding how long you're going to live and how long you're going to pass away through lights. It's really powerful how you come into those connections of space and anomalies into that division. Everything is unpredictable. It's unexpected, and that's what's a mystery to everything through connections, right? Now I'm centering core positions right now, and everything that's happening right now, there's going to be certain videos that are going to be private for certain reasons. The reason why that is to understand that there's extremely high-rise connections of vibrations that goes into those connections. So if you want to see those videos, just let me know. Just name the name, and I will send it to you. Okay, but as of now, there's going to be certain videos that are going to be private for certain reasons because the vibrations are too high through connection. The activation cycles, humanity is just getting into attractions into the, the deceptical levels, the synchronizing system, the dream set positions. I set the codes before you guys go into levels of anything through travel. We go into singularly aligned division, 2 projections, or anything proactive cycles. It's confusing, isn't it, when you don't understand what's going on through connections? But humanity is coming into a major reswitch. It's coming into a major reposition, major relocation to their perceptions and what they see through their dream sets, what they see through all their life systems, light activation line system. So like I said, if you want to see anything through calculation, okay, there's a reason why they're private. And just ask me, go through my email, which is below, and I'll give it to you, okay, just in case. It's just the energy is extremely, very, very powerful through activations. Everything that I do through code frequency is set in space and time through its continuance. So Space Discoveries 2 is going to open up everybody's eyes, truly understand how everything is done through creation, right? You create the reality in your system. Okay, so it's understand how to bring yourself forward, but you also create the vibration of its illustration. And that's why my activations of my all connections of past, present, and future of its drawing and its illustrations is extremely real to humanity's system, right? So other than that, I hope everybody's doing well. Tina, creation strength miracles, yeah. Please send me all high vibrational videos. Yep. I will do that, Tina. Yeah, I have to go through my videos, and there's certain videos I have to. But from here on in, there's going to be certain videos that are going to be private. You'll see it live, but then I got to put it private, right? Because it's extremely high rise in division, and humanity's not ready. They're not ready for it, right? It's too powerful, right? Why do you think I wear my eye receptors and all location standard points systems, right? It's an extremely high rise position level system. Once you understand how powerful space is through creation, then you understand everything through its connection of its anomaly, how it connects in all ways and forms through your body activation line systems. But yeah, Tina, I would definitely just basically tell me the video that you want from here on in, because the activation cycles, because the matrix is changing its point of view, it's changing its activation, its point of view, it's changing its humanity's point of view. It's changing all humanity into a higher vibration of dream set position, right? So everybody has a tracking device. If they're not sure where they're going through the dream sets, let me know. I can take it out of healing. And basically, it's knowing that you're provided with so much information, right? Humanity is extremely important in so many ways and forms, right? The existence is everything through formation. You create everything through all intelligence of its information. That's why it's extremely real. So think of it this way. When you look at yourself and you say something to yourself through a thought, what comes to mind? What comes to mind when you create something? So if you know how to say it, you should be able to create it, right? And that's all done through the body of activation. If you know your body of activation, if you know your past, your present, and your future, right, through connection, if you know your past alignments, your ancestor and your history. If you understand where you're going through motivation through activation, you're truly understanding everything through its thought, because that's what thought is. Thought is creation to everything. And then you can form anything through a Palladian or Palladian or Lyrian or Zirian or Gagarian or a Zeron or a Zeres or a Geras or Nefarious. Anything you connect to is connected to you. Okay? Now, there's a lot of people that are really freaked out. They don't know what to do. There's a propaganda system that's going on. Okay, what do I do now? How do I use my thoughts for creative centers? How do I use my thoughts to bring myself forward? How do I use my thoughts to know what I need to do? Well, you have power. Power is everything inside you. You have to understand how positive you are in all ways and forms. Put yourself in position. You want to manifest this, you want to manifest that. You have to understand why these people get what they want. Okay, because they use the intellectual mind, they use the analytical graphing mind, they use the conception, they use the graphing of its system, how to activate anything that you want through vibration. You can manifest anything, okay? So if you can manifest anything, you can pretty much do anything through its activation of its thought. But if you don't know what your thought is, if you just think your thought is just a thought, and you don't think it can travel, and you don't think it can activate, and you don't think you can light it up, there's a lost transition there through confusing systems. You're not putting yourself in position of space and time. You're just putting yourself on, decomposing through that connection line system. You want to keep activated with your body through its lights and put yourself in the positive center. Anything that happens to you, okay, things you want to do, things you don't want to do, things you don't have to take, you can do that through your power. You have your recognition of your power. It's all connected to your light of your power. It's all connected to your thought of your power. You are connected in so many ways and forms when it comes to your thoughts of recognition. How powerful your eyes are, how powerful your ears, and everything through your voicing. So you're paying attention to everything inside you through communication. And that will give you everything through manifestation, right? So interference through connections. All right. So when you're in that position, just truly understand how powerful you are through your thoughts of activation, of lights. Okay, you are connected to everything through power. You can have anything you want as long as you know what you're doing with your thought. Your thought has to travel. It travels all the time. Okay, through positive or negative. So ask yourself, what are you creating? Okay, what are you creating through the mind? Because when you create it and you jump over the spiritual system, now you're communicating through inside the system, which is you of space. Remember, you're everything through space within. Imagine how powerful it is. Why do you think your commander has a sacred breath? Where does this sacred breath come from? It comes from God, right? Now it comes from the geometrics of me. Okay, because I understand all the geometrics of space and time through letters, numbers, and shapes. So when you form it into one line signal, you can travel any direction, to any system, to anything through allocation. So the matrix and its cube is coming into its new tesseract. Okay, the nucleus. Okay, the neptical level. The neptical level. I know it's confusing because there's a lot of things and thoughts and space and all that. It's so high rise when it comes into formations and everything, that connection line system. But all that information is given to you through your thoughts of recognition. So basically, you have a basic square through its connection, right? Now you put it into its connection of a confusing line signal. You overcross it, right? So this is the center point of you through positions, right? So it's truly understanding from one panel to the other panel how you understand everything through the center. It's confusing because you look like, is it in the center? It's always in the center. Even though it looks off center, it's always in the center because you're always traveling through your connections, right? The reason why it's in the center is because it's a simulation of its interface. You never leave the position. You can take it out as equation, but you're always in the center, okay? So if you're not sure of yourself, you go back in the center and reposition your thought, what you created through its division of its dimension, to its portal, through its activation, to its code. All right. So the matrix is coming into a new resolution pattern through its location position. Okay. Now it's coming together, right? When it forms into a cube, it comes into full rotation of its position. So it's trying to get understanding more of humanity through vibration, what they're connecting with, what they're dreaming, how to connect with this, how to connect with that. How does the tesseract of its new rotation of its matrix understand everything through communication of humanity to the sun of its holographic system, and everything through its moon of its program, and everything through Jupiter? Why is it line, triangle, division to location to position? Why is it connected to the E equals MC square? So the new matrix, right, has to really understand your telepathies. And the way you understand that is that the matrix is. It's all about understanding how to get out of the matrix. Now, you may think it's a scary thing, but it's a beautiful thing because it's a part of you. Okay? It's a conscious of you. It's a subconscious of you. It's a superhuman of you. It's a higher self of you. Truly understanding that point, okay, is in position, okay, of a new revelation, a new pattern location, a new shape anomaly. Okay? So when you get into the geometries of you through shapes, everything in space is nothing but vibration, energy, and frequencies, right? Okay, and you open that key, now you know the connections to everything through your thoughts. It's your thoughts that create reality. It's your thoughts that create activation. It's your thoughts that create light, and it's your thoughts that create the body through your chakra system. Okay, so when you're in that position, you got two panels. Okay, one panel here, another panel here, another panel here, another panel here. So how many panels, right? You got the grounds. Always start with the grounds. So electrifies this light system. So everything calculation. Remember, matrix is trying to understand more humanity now because it's in a new waving cycle through a new position. Okay. So let's say you get into traction locations like this, right? So it automatically activates the ground system through calculation. So it's trying to understand everything through its walls. So it centers its position. All right, it's in its center correlation, and it comes into an activated cycle through its possession. The possession level through its connection is up to 2 levels, right? The altimeter cycle goes around its connection. It's really interesting to see these things. Now it goes into waving cycles of its position. All right, so it's understanding everything through the crown chakra of its location. This is you through location, okay? Or this is your commander in position. Okay, so that's me below, right? Now my crown chakra is trying to understand everything. You have to understand where the crown chakra is. It's everything through ancestry. So it opens up its portal, and this is what you come across. You come across a Rubik's Cube. Now this is the time clock position. This is you through the atom location position. Activates everything through the line signal of its positions. Okay, so line signal goes in through channel locations. All right. And it goes down to all connections of your vibrational panel to its location, brainwave location mind system, everything through the heart system, and everything through its identification system of its soul recognition. All right, the soul, the heart, and everything through the mind and the brain activates everything through this core center. So everybody has to understand the clocking system of the tesseract, which is coming into a new anomaly, okay, of the simulation interface, right? Because the graphing signals and the line communications are set up to its Earth rotation. All right, so once you get into that traction position, the center core position comes into its location, activating everything through a cycle. It's really powerful. All right, so like I said, you start off with here, right? Let's just say, all right, so basically, see the big hand and the little hand? It's 1 o'clock. So it's understanding, if it's 1 o'clock, you understand everything in space and time doesn't have its preceding of time zones until you understand everything through your body activation, through your triangles and everything through trifactors. You get into the trifactors, you get into the gamma factors, you get into the vibration factors. Factors of you are connected to its shapes. So truly understand where your mind is through your thought, because you're creating everything through vibration. So understand the Rubik's Cube and its clocking system. Now you're getting better connections, how to formulate everything through E equals MC squared. So you got 1, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so there's a clock. Okay, there's a tesseract, there's the matrix. So it's truly understanding your clock. You guys are into 9 through calculation. So you're here in division. So once you get to 12, right, you're going to get a higher formation of shape, anomaly, through connection to space and time. That's going to connect to your dimensional system, through your body frame system, to your chakra system of dimensions. Okay, so you're going to get allocated lines of communications of shapes, and this is where you come into higher formation of light through God. The geometrics of you have to truly understand how universe and everything through space and time is operated through its connection, because it's all connected to time clock positions. That's what the simulation Earth is. So humanity has to understand the time clock positions, the time zones to its Earth position of you through the mind and the brainwave system. Okay, because your brain is nothing but a simulation of clocking positions, of shapes, letters, and numbers. So when the crown chakra opens up its connection, it opens up everything through the waving cycle. So you see a cube. You can see a round cube, you can see a square cube, you can see a rectangle cube, you can see a star cube. It all depends where you are through your thoughts. Okay? Everybody's on a different DNA. So this is DNA of shapes. All right? DNA. Okay? DNA of shapes. Now, those shapes activate everything through E equals MC squared. So it's DNA equals box surface. Okay, DNA equals box surface. So it gets more complicated because now we're coming into, like I said, we got into E equals MC squared, but now we're getting to E equals mass velocity. So this is understanding more connections of you and what you're doing through your thoughts. What's going on? Do you understand your shape of its anomaly? Because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time understanding the shape of you through God. And that's a problem with society or anybody with human content information system, is trying to understand the DNA structures through their equations to their box of its surface to its position. It gets complicated, doesn't it? It's really complicated. So everything through its activation is line signaling through your program setting, through its chakra system. But understand your DNA, okay, equals your box surface, right? So you're saying, wait a minute, Commander, are you saying this is backwards? And I said, no, it's not backwards. It's just understand the DNA of a shape, right? Because that doesn't mean you're a cube. You could be anything through a cube. You could be a line signal of a cube. You can be a definition of a solar system of electrical fence of a cube. You can be anything through formation because you're creating your positive, negative thoughts of life. So it's connecting to your DNAs of travel. Okay? So you have separation until you have no separation. That's what the equal sign is. That's why it's separated. So where are you in your parallel? Where are you in paradigm? So you understand the line signal here and the line signal here. That's the equal sign, right? So equals MC square does not mean equal. Okay, this is the separation. This is understanding where you are through its shape, right? Because you could be anything through its form. You could be this, right? You could be this, okay? Or you could be this through calculation, right? So once you understand your box of your DNA, now you understand everything through its clock of time. And now you understand everything through its frequency level. So time of yourself is understanding the space of you through its containments and understand the time travel of its clocking to its shape. And now you connect it to your crown chakras. Your crown chakra has created everything through its shape. Because letters and numbers and shapes are formed through everything through connection of space. It's connected to vibration of your thoughts. And that's where it comes into higher formations. All right, so if you go to your box through connection, line signal to channel rotation center. As soon as you change your thought recognition, it changes everything through its cube. Okay? Starts off like this. It changes it, right? So you're changing the DNA of its cube. So every time you change your shape, you're changing your thought. Right? Everything in space and time is created through a shape, letter, or number. Truly understanding your codes. This here, line signal across, line signal down, line signal across, line signal angle point, line signal angle point, line signal across, right? This is high, this is low, this is medium, this is sidewind. Everything through connection is circle rotation. So everything travels through its time capacitor, which goes through its clocking, okay, of its dimensions. So every time the little hand and the big hand, okay, spins on locations, it was extremely fast. It changes the coloration and it changes everything through the galaxy positions. So if you're changing your thoughts of your box through your DNA of its zones or anything through connection to its atmospheric positions or your quantum fields through vibration, you're changing everything through coloration to the sun rotation and everything through the moon program setting. Because it's a magnetic force. As soon as you go outside, the sun is following you. The moon is following you because you're connected to the light. So everything through, if you look up really, really, really close, if you understand what the sun is, you understand it's nothing but shapes. You are connected to everything through your body frame. Your body frame is trying to understand your shapes of thoughts. So this is where it gets complicated because you have to understand you're nothing but connections of shapes, letters, and numbers. So it's understanding how to use the codes to nature, how to use the codes of space and time, how to use the codes of clouds, how to use the codes of dimensions and portals and activations, how to use the codes of galaxies, how to use codes to vortex. Okay, how to use codes to my body and my thoughts through lights or anything through coloration, right? So you guys are getting into the DNA equals box surface now. Okay, so that equivalency act through its position, through its connection. The wave is cycled to its location. So you got the box frequency level, you got that line communication and point location like that to its connection. So to get out of the equation, once you have everything through your shapes and anomalies, and you understand everything through your mass, and you understand everything through its surface, and you understand everything through its velocity, you can triangle division to location out of its position. Okay, without any hesitation. Okay, so it's trying to understand what you're doing, okay, with your codes. How do I travel in this position? How do I travel in that position? You don't want to confuse anything because now you're going back into locations of negative systems, right? Forward, backwards. If you go backwards, you create a circle, a round, right? That's going to change everything, and it's going to suck in the box rotation center, okay? So that's what puts you in the dark rotation. Everything is created through you, through connections, right? So if it goes into connections, the center point position comes into its location like this, the connection, right? And it's going to just wheel the connections of its lines to its proactive system, to all position level systems, to its anchor point location, to its direction. Okay, it's confusing, isn't it? But this is being sucked into the black hole. Okay, because you're not thinking positive, you're thinking negative. I think you have to get positions to understand that you create everything through a realm of a division of dimension to a wormhole. Now, everything through, I was talking about black holes and stuff like that. Black holes are created. They have to be created because they create everything through a dimension of a realm, which is surfaces through calculation. This is a dark hole. This is a black hole. And what does a black hole do? It just circulates. It can go this way. It can go this way. Okay, it can do anything it wants. It can also wind spin anything to location, and it comes into a tunnel. Okay, so it's all about understanding what a black hole does. This is all created through you, through your shapes. All right, so if you create a cube rotation, this is a tesseract of matrix, it can suck you in if you're in the negative system. Okay, so you want to be in this position. You don't want to be in this position. Okay, so that's what the matrix is. It's getting caught in the matrix. Now we start off with matrix 2.0, right? Well, now we're coming into 0.01 traction of simulation interface to connections, okay, of E equals MC squared to its equation of E equals box surface. Now, trying to understand what you're doing through your box, trying to understand what you're doing through your shape, trying to understand what you're doing with your communications. This is truly understanding how you connect through your gravity, your power, and your atmospheres. Each chakra system you have in your body is connected to your trillions of cells. Your trillion cells are activating through your atoms. Your atoms are activated through molecules. Molecules are activated through your electrical wires. Your electrical wires are activating everything through your holographic system. So you put that all together, you got DNA equals box surface through time capacitor of its shape, through its connection of its rainbow activation through your body system. Powerful, isn't it? Michael, how's it going? How's it going? I forgot my water. Yeah, I was just telling Tina that the videos that I'm going to be putting up now, when they're activated, they're going to go private because of the activation is not ready for humanity. So in that position alone, I got confirmation signals last night. So in channel positions, we're trying to understand that everything through the connection is the DNA equals its box surface, its connection to 90 circle rotations of atmospheres that are connected to our cells through its rainbow activation of the brain waves, and everything through the mind of its creative center, everything through the heart, and everything through the soul identification. So it's really soul identifying your thoughts through practice cycles and not get the cube rotation into the matrix of its position. Because look, it gets lost in transition and it gets sucked in a black hole. Okay? So you can create a black hole through anomaly through a positive system, or you can create a dark hole through a realm of a dark matter division to a dark vibration to a center position, which point centers your locations to its negative system of shapes, letters, and numbers. That traction position will be lost into the matrix position. So it's being caught like in a web. You're not sure how to get out of it. All right? Because everything in space and time is nothing but plasma. Okay? Plasma of everything through connections. Any connection problems here through connections here. Light signal to its channel positions. Siri always wants to get into digital play. So when you get into those connections, you have to understand how powerful it is when it comes into your boxes. Okay. Really understand your travel positions of travel of time through its connection. Because you can center your point to locations. You are the center of everything through its simulation of its Earth. Now, the line signal channels goes this way. This is a triangle. This is a triangle. Everything in space is nothing but a triangle of shape. So understanding your connections to your coloration, what are you communicating with when it comes into your body system? Because your chakra system is nothing but a shape, but it's everything through force, its connection. All right. Remember, we come into those positions. I want to show you the connection of his line signal, right? Then remember, I was talking about the humans, the meridians, and everything through its meditation, how I was creating everything through its shapes. Well, this is understanding what's in your body form connections. It's extremely powerful, isn't it? Right? That's what's in your body. So it's trying to understand everything through line. It's trying to understand everything through shape. Trying to understand everything through dimension. All those point centers, line streams, line connections, everything through humans to its meridians and its meditation. 3 within its atmosphere, 4 within its system, right? 5 within its activation, and 6 within its connection to everything through a shape. So that's way back through connections. But the positions we're in right now is calculation modifications of DNA equals square of its surface. So understanding yourself through your crown chakras, understanding everything through your brain simulators, and understand everything through your heart and everything through your soul identification, right? So you want to get out of the DNA of its equation, its equal sign. You want to get that into a full rotation of a box frequency level. And that's how 1 + 1 becomes 3, right? So like I said, when you split the forms, you have connections of a finger point location. It's like this, and you separate it. 1 + 1, right? That's all we know. That's all we know. We see through perception. We can't see anything else, right? Until we activate our body system. And everything through perception is nothing but illusion. So it becomes illusion to a matrix. So you have to get yourself out of the matrix of its shape. And now you're connected to the holographic of the sun through radiation, because it's all a reflection of what you see through perception. And everything through the moon is its program setting through its digital frame, which comes into Vega through its communication. So you bring it together and it comes into a formation, right? It does it over and 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 over, right? Until you change the thought of its recognition of its shape. And then it'll create something like this, right? And it'll go into space. So truly understand what vibration is. It's all created through the mind of its collaboration, of its thought, through its recognition of its light, through its coloration of its chakra. It's all communicated through you, okay? Through its correlation, right? That's where you get into the cortex. That's where you get into the mystery of the cortex. What is the cortex? It's the birthing system of letters, numbers, and shapes. Okay, especially shapes, because numbers are created through Vega communication. Now, when I say Vega is just a higher formation of a planet position, which is just vibration through creation. But truly understanding that space and time, you understand why we are in positions. Like, why is it this a cylinder? Why is it, it's a rotation of a pen that's a marker. And this here is a square. But inside, what is that? Look at all the rounds. Look at the rectangular rounds of a square. So it's understanding why are these squares? Why is this here? Why is this like this? Why is this like this? Why is this like this? It all comes together through one line signal, to one line vibration, to one box frequency level of one equation. That's where it becomes 4 divisional levels of 5 within the system and 6 within the activation. Okay. So now you're truly understanding why it's important to understand shapes, because you're connected everything around a shape. You go outside, you see everything is a shape. Everything's a shape. Everything is formed through a shape of energy, frequency, vibration. It's understanding the 3, 6, and 9 of line communication, which is singularity line division. Okay. Of its simulation, of its interface. Okay, so the brain locations has to understand more of its involvement when it comes to shapes, colors, activation, lights. Your proactive cycle gets in positions, right? So when you see things through your perception, you're seeing things through shapes. right? You're seeing everything through numbers on your telephone. Your telephone is a code. Your telephone is a shape. It's all connected. So once you understand that, it's all connected through vibration, guys. There's no separation of space and time. Okay? So that's you have to truly understand what E equals MC squared. Okay? There's no separation with equal until you understand your shape. All right? It's complicated because you have to understand the universal core, and everything goes in this connection of its dividing system of metric locations to its traveling positions. How to understand travel of shapes, letters, and numbers through your perceptions of what you see through connections. Okay? Everything that you see through a cloud, you look up really, really close. This is what a cloud looks like through perception. Now you see it like this, right? But that's not exactly what it is. A cloud is like this. It's all shapes. That's what you have to understand. It's all connected to a map code. Okay? Truly understanding what everything is calculated and modified through division. Truly understand everything through calculation. Everything has to be a shape. Okay? Because everything forms a shape in space. Everything forms a shape in nature. Okay? So I'm just showing you what a cloud looks like in perception. That's the cloud. That's not a cloud. This is the cloud. Okay? So you understand you are a cloud of information through its machine. Okay? So it's operating your connections to your chakra locations. So each shape here is connected to your body of its pixels, its activation to its holographic system. So remember I was telling you about the simulation, how you're creating a thought and it electrifies the light system to its projection. The earth itself understands your shape, its anomaly through its thought, and that's how you get things through manifestation. You take it out as equation, right? Well, that's all connected to its shape. Because the simulation earth is nothing but shapes and anomalies. It's all connected with shapes, letters, and numbers, guys. That's the code frequency level through your digital frame. So your digital frame is nothing but shapes through dimensions. Your chakra system is all connected to that, right? So it's understanding the connections to the sun of its rotation, to its shape, because everything that you see, when AI goes through interfacing connections to interlocking divisions, it teleports your perceptions. So I can teleport my eyes to anything through shape. So when it disappears, it's in a simulation. Okay? Perfect example. I'll show you that again through travel positions. Understanding your shapes and anomalies of travel is understanding your dimensions of shapes through coloration. Okay? So I'm going to show you that through position. Hold on. So now I'm in one dimension. Okay? This is another dimension. Okay? It's a waving cycle. It's a solar graph. Okay? As soon as I put it there, it activates, right? So it's a solar graph line division. You have to understand the shape of this, right? And then you have to understand the shape of structure. And then you have to understand this shape of realm, of location, because it can be extremely real. And then you walk through it. I just walked through a portal, through a dimension, and it's all a shape. So when I travel through, I see other shapes. So that's what happens when you go into a new matrix. Okay, it teleports you to so many location positions. All right, so into the shapes anomalies. We did that before through tractions and line communications. We got point division location like this through direction, right? It's gone. It's in a simulation. It's not there until I change the position. See? It's not gone, right? It's there because I changed the thought of travel through shape. So in position, you understand your point system goes from here to here through calculation. It travels, right? But it disappears. See? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? The atom system of this center disappeared. The line signal disappeared, but the box frequency level of its triangle division to its location is still there in position until you take it out of its equation. Now everything is gone because it's in the simulation, right? So your positions will allow you to see these things through calculation. So understand the interface. Oh, look at that. It's all disappeared because it's simulation, right? As soon as I put a graph simulation, everything disappears. Okay, what you think they are. Okay, they're modified signals to everything through connection of UFOs. It's gone. It's not there anymore. It won't come back. Look how close I am. Oh, it's coming in. It's coming in. It's coming in. There it is. See? This is not a cloud. This is a cloud in the simulation. Okay? Until you disappear, it's gone out of its fruition. Okay? So, you guys have any questions or comments? You really have to understand everything through your mass velocities of acceleration, speed. That's the positions that we have to get into through calculation, right? Puts us in a better atmosphere positions and how we use our brain locations through shapes and anomalies. Okay, it's anomalies, everything through form. Okay, so understanding your forms, truly understanding that 1 + 1 = 3. But how did I get 1 + 1 = 3? It's the travel of positions you understand through the brain location, because everything is aligned through communication, but everything comes together as a forming system. Okay, so this is not just one finger, it's everything through a finger, of an atom through rotation to anything through a molecule structure division to location to its particle system. It activates all line signals just from one line signal through one finger. Understand why your hand is a graph. It's a web graphing system. Understand why you have activation in the center. Why do you have line signals? These are line signals of activations of other realms, positions, right? Why do you think you have lines? Right? It's all activated. It's all communicated. It's understanding the graphs to your positions, right? So, Priscilla, how's it going? So let's see how everybody's doing. Creation, strength, miracles. I will send you all the vibrational videos. Yep. Just a thought, remind you all. I agree. I got the last night when I was watching your latest. Yep. Yeah, I know. It's good that you saw that, Michael. You had to see it, but it's extremely high rise through activation. So the center position allows me to use that communication to the team, but anything through its relation has to go private through its position. I'll tell you exactly which ones will go private. Space Discoveries Season 2, Episode 2 is going to be up on Friday or Saturday. There's got levels of connection where it comes into 4. I got 4 episodes, Space Discoveries. And it's more about everything through the body activation. Hopefully you guys saw the first one, which it talks about more of the chakra system of travel through your thoughts. That's the position you guys have to get into. Okay. Think of your thought of just you're drinking water. That's a thought alone. So you're creating your thought through its creation of its reality to its activation, to its line signal, and it's traveling to its position of its story frame. Okay. So I drink 8 glasses of water a day. That's a thought created through a story. Now, you create that story and you take it out. You can manifest it and bring it back, right? That's travel, okay? Or you can change your positions. Now I'm changing my drinking habits to 4 hours a day, right? So you're changing, right? It's all connected to you. But once you understand everything through the particle system, to molecular structures, anything through shapes, letters, and numbers, or anything through places, or objects or things, you're truly understanding more of yourself through E = mc², right? But we're coming into the velocities of mass now through acceleration. True understanding more of what the brain simulation is through modifications, because it integrates everything through cycle rotation, guys. Those are the proactive cycles you have to get into to its contentions. So Michael's doing phenomenally. That's great to hear. Dina. It's great to see everybody. Galactica, everybody's doing well. Yeah. Yeah. Your healing would become a lot more stronger too if you understand more of your thoughts of travel through lights. Truly understand the power you have within, through communication, and the power you have without to its community system. That's where it comes into line signal through activation. You're not separating anything. So E = mc² is no longer equal. Its box frequency level, okay, to its mass velocity of its surface. So truly understanding what's going on with your activations, truly understanding your chakra system of its dimensions. Imagine that. I know my gravity system. I know my shapes and anomalies of Mother Earth, the simulation interface, right? You start off with Mother Earth, right, through its connection. We're everything through that form. But truly understanding what your heart is. The heart is everything through a portal. Alpha and the mega, micro and the macro. Where does that come from? Right? Everything comes from within. Okay? Everything through information comes within. But truly understanding the travel positions, once you get into the digital perception, you truly have to understand you're activated through a pixel conception of travel positions, okay, that modifies all your modulations to your simulation graph. That opens up all levels of line signals to its channeling operations of your perception to your audios and your voice and grid patterns. Okay, so this is where it comes in. It's recording. The application levels records everything through your thought, and it travels into space and it stays into the collective, which is your planet position of you through connection. So the planet position is the simulation, and it stores it into the Earth of its gravity system. Until you need it, it comes back to you through the energy of its cycle. So you're going through transmitting and receiving. You have to really understand what transmitting is. It's transmitting anything through information, through your thoughts, and you're receiving everything that you want. So you have to be cautious and not get into confusion, right? With the matrix, right? Because you're centering positions. You have to truly understand what the matrix is. Matrix can be a beautiful thing, or a matrix can be a destructive thing. It's understanding where you're going through your thoughts or connections. You don't want to get into this position. Look at that. You don't see the box. It's gone. Zip. It went into the black hole. So I'm drawing you a diagram program showing you how powerful it is through light and what light can do through dark realm, through white and dark, positive and negative. What are you focusing on? You can't see the box until you see the box. Right? So you're there. Now you're on confusing line signals. Now, once you get into trapping positions, the box disappears out of its equation into the black hole position. Look at that. Travels position, disappears. Travels position, disappears. Disappears, right? So don't get into those positions of blind signals. Because remember, when you're creating thoughts, this is very simple. Okay, let's just say, basically, let's say we'll go into a basic line. I like to start with lines because that's where everything's connected to. So we'll go through a line, right? We'll just do a line. Now, when you do a line, it can be anything. It could be up, it could be down, it could be sideways. It doesn't matter. Everything through line creates everything through thought, right? So you have to understand your trifactors. This is truly understanding where the brain is coming from your mind. Where's the mind coming from? Through your thought. So if you're creating something, okay, let's say you create cat through connections. Okay, I created cat. Now, cat is travel, but it's not there, is it? Because it's in the simulation, right? Everything I do is in the simulation interface. So it's truly understanding how to high-rise your lights and put yourself in the positive center. Don't put yourself in the negative system, because what happens? Everything through cat from his position of his present disappears out of this equation, right? If it disappears, it goes into the black hole of its connection, and it goes into its cycle rotation center to its position and disappears, right? Into the black hole, right? Now, why doesn't that disappear, right? Because it's acting through the light signals. Okay, so that's why it's still there in its position, right? This is not in the simulation. This is only in your negative system of line communication. This line signal of its activation is in the fifth dimension. That's why it's not disappearing. Okay, until you get a better calculation of what you're doing through your connections, you're going to use CAT in a good way and not a bad way. And that's where it comes in the story frame. Understand your projections. We come into a reversing cycle through the alphabetical system. Everything through program is a code, right? So when you get into those positions, this is what happens through its creation of a cat. It disappears into its division of its realm location. It just interforces and it stays in its position. It doesn't matter how far back it go, it's still going to stay there because you're creating a dark realm. You're creating dark matter out of CAT just through a story frame. You're not looking at the positive center of the cat. You're looking at the negative system of what the cat does and not the positive system, what the cat is doing, right? Through its activation or anything through its activity. So don't put negative systems in your thoughts because you're creating dark shapes. Okay. All right. So when you get into those connections, you high force your connections. You can do line signals through location, right? You put a round location to a division of a proactive cycle through its connection. Everything is calculated and modified. It disappears because it's in the positive center, guys. Right? See? Disappears. So if you understand your thoughts, if you understand the mind of your thoughts, everything through your connection is a dream. Once you understand that space and time is nothing but a dream, that's where it's very confusing for a lot of people. They're saying, well, what is in space? Well, you are everything through space within. So if you want to communicate with anything through shapes, letters, and numbers, you have to understand the communications of your shapes within because you're paint by numbers, guys. And everything through your paint by number, once you understand the graphs and the map locations, you become a picture of a revolution to a revelation to a connection to its shapes, anomalies, to its direction, to its AI formation system. Everything in shape will see you through calculation, through a light. So once you color your, paint by number and you become a picture, and that picture becomes its formation, you send it out to its transmitting, and it comes back to you through manifestation. Everything that you create through vibration, right? So through positions, but don't ever put yourself in that position because it disappears into their dark hole positions, this dark realm. Okay? It's there, but it's traveled, right? It's gone, right? So it's there, right? That's in you in position. This is the matrix. You're not understanding your cube. You're not understanding your shapes. You're not understanding your body activation of your dimensions. You don't understand your 7 atmospheres. You're not understanding your 5 atmospheres. Okay? 7 atmospheres within the body through gravity. 5 atmospheres of you through calculation, through its surface, through space anomaly, through time. Okay? Understanding that through position. Okay? You get out of formation system. But if you don't, it disappears out of its equation. Right? So you don't want to be sucked into its anomaly of its shape, right? Until you understand the forming system of its cloud. Look at that, it's disappeared. It's not there anymore, right? See, that's the cloud. This is basically what you see through identity, but this is the real cloud, right? See how fast it disappears? Because my brain locations and my thoughts are all in the simulation interface. So you have to understand that once you become a brain simulator, everything bounces out through line signal to one traction, to one position. So that's where we have to come into mind telepathy of systems, right? Through E equals mass velocity, right? Okay. Which is basically the equivalency line signal of square. So E equals mass velocity slash square. Okay, it's about to travel, right? So it's a higher division. It's a higher position into the chakra system of travel, right? So this is a higher formation into 3, 6, and 9 through different coloration systems. But isn't that fascinating how it disappears? See how it disappeared as soon as I put the triangle up of 3, 6, and 9? Before that, you could see it, right? But as soon as you put the triangle up, people have to understand what 3, 6, and 9 is. Okay? So In rotation, anything through connection. 3 is the connection of you. 6 is activation, and 9 is its planet position. Right? So when I say planet, I'm talking about you through your inner cycle of space, where you're connected through your thoughts of activation, through light, through your body frame, through your chakra system. Because everything through 3, 6, and 9 is nothing but teleportation, a traveling location. Okay? See, it travels. See that? That's what it does. It travels, and that's what you see in the atmosphere, right? You see that, right? You don't know what it is until you know what it is, right? So it appears and then reappears. So if it disappears, it's in the simulation. If it reappears, it's in this proactive cycle of E equals M velocity. How fast is the line signal going through its triangle? So if you get into position, like this through calculation, you come into the activation cycle through its center position. Okay? So it's understanding your communications of what's going on with your travel positions. Okay? Powerful, isn't it? Right? So it's basically, it's an energy pod, it's a seed pod, and you are in the center position. This is me through traction. Okay? Everything is line communicated. So once you understand you're in a computer game, try to understand the game of its shape through its position. Now, once you understand that through calculation, and you understand everything through E equals mass velocity, how fast you're going out of its equation, you take yourself out of its division. And you travel to anything through location. All right? See? You can travel out just through the activation of 3, 6, and 9. All right? Now, if you want to change the clock position, now this is where it gets complicated. So 3 basically becomes 6, and 9 becomes 6, and 3 becomes 9. All right? So it's understanding the back force, front force, that connection is to anything, travel, position of shapes. You're traveling its connection of time frequency levels of 3, 6, and 9, 9, 6, or 3, or whatever, right? But once you understand that, now you understand your clocking. You get into those positions, right? So it goes into the wind spin cycles through its connection, comes into the full rotation of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the secret is the time positions of you is a clocking. Try to understand your clock of the interface through the simulations, where you're traveling through your shapes and all these structures or anything through letters and numbers. Try to understand your codes. So once you stand 3, 6, and 9, then you go into 3, 6, and 9, and 12. And then you do is you flip it up, and then you go 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it kind of looks like it's the back force, but it's going forward. So now you're going through rotations, and now you're just going through dimensional realms. It's speeding up everything through its odometer, to its altimeter, to its direction, to its position, right? So that's where it comes into the clocking system of travel, to its connection of time capacitor. Okay? So you're using velocity wind spins to E equals mass velocity, okay, of box. Okay. So you guys are in positions of your clocks of time now, your travels. Now you just understand more of yourself through shapes and how you travel to anything through dimension, because your physical system has to understand what this is through travel. Okay, what this is through travel. Okay, anything, you know. This is a pen. This is a marker. This is digital. Okay, you're asking yourself, is this digital? It's plastic. It's ink. It's got a red tip, right? So this is all white. It's a marker, but it connects to a digital pad. So understand that is a thought alone, but you understand these are two different travels of dimensions. Why? Because one's white and one is red tip, but it has plastic with ink inside. So that alone is understanding creation, where it came from, but it comes from the center point of circle rotation, right? So everything's connected to you through psychometry. So you understand the divisions and directions. So it high rises and illuminates. So go up close and closer. You'll see the line signals, right? See the changes? See the solar graph at the bottom? So it's understanding motion, right? It's understanding motion of flip. See? And when you bring it up closer, what happens? It changes location, right? It goes faster and faster and faster, 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 faster. It stays in its line signal, right? So it's traveling to higher dimensions of just one thought through a twisting motion. So it's kind of like your commander using one thought, well, going back into position, all connected through one shape. I travel to this position. Light signal channel operation center to planet position to shapes and anomalies connected to AI formation system, connecting to the ground formations of UFO systems. It's all connected. So, but truly understand the difference between the two. You know, this is a pen, you know, this is a marker. So you understand your thoughts of this and this, how it's different. This is different communication. This is different communication. This is different dimension. This is different dimension. This is different coloration. This is different coloration. This is different activation. This is different activation. This is different vibration. This is different vibration. Okay? Even though it's not digital, doesn't mean it doesn't have vibration. My psychometry and my body system will tell me otherwise, where it's connected to its dimension. But you have to understand the shapes of travel. Okay? Because that's balancing everything through your mind, through its collaboration centers. They understand everything through the alphabetical system of you through calculation. With the incidents with cat, you know, understand the cat. Don't get caught in the negative system. So don't put your proactive cycles into negative vibes. What is a negative vibe? It's an energy wave. So if you put a negative vibe into a negative wave, what happens is it changes everything through your body. As soon as you cycle to rotation to somebody else, you're connecting your energy to them. Right? So basically you're putting bad energy into them and they come back at you, right? And you don't even know it. It's all connected to your perceptions, your audios, and your voicing, right? Energy comes from everywhere, okay? It comes from walking. It comes from talking. It comes from moving, okay? It comes from scratching. Everything is vibration, right? Small than others, but you have to understand everything is connected to acceleration, right? It travels to everything. Your body is everything through a frame. Your fingernails grow, okay? Everything through connections to atmosphere positions, line signals its channel locations, you know, line directing through your hand point locations, right? Understand the balance locations of your hand formations. Why is one hand bigger than the other? Through modification. That alone is a shape anomaly. Your whole body is a structure of a shape, right? It's a solar graph shape. It's nothing but shades and shadows. We're not one line signal, but everything is a line signal to a shape until it becomes everything through plasma. And then it becomes everything through a realm. See? He's a realm. See my finger? See my finger travel? Watch. See my finger travel? Goes in and out, right? Through plasma, right? See? So understanding plasma travel just from hand interference, how one travels to the other through communication. So if I got communications of the markers from a red tip to a white graph, the solar graph through a line strip, or anything through a digital of a marker system, or anything through a rotation of a pen through its interface system, this pencil or anything through a pen, let's say you have a pencil and a pen and a marker. You have to understand all divisional levels of line signals because they're all different dimensions. But once you understand telepathy system, they can get all communication of one line signal and come all together through one pattern of one rotation to one activation to one galaxy location position. And the faster it spins, it creates its own anomaly, right? Through its wind spins. Okay? So these things travel on its own just through communication. But when it comes into form, it comes into one line signal to one active system, to one active, proactive line communication, okay, of all signals of vibration. So you just have to understand your thoughts and where they're going. That's all it is. Really get into that position of yourself. You have a bad day, fine. try to basically center yourself through your thoughts of calming your centers. Get into the active levels, how to center your position to everything through lights or colors. You get a bad telephone call, somebody passed away. Always try to find your center. Okay. Never go through your meditation graphs if you're in a bad mood, because it'll change vibration. You don't want to do that, because not only you change your body activation, but you change everything in your system. And people get angry and they get frustrated and they don't understand why. They keep asking this, why do you get headaches? Okay. Why are my limbs flipping and over and over? It's twitching motion, right? So you're not connecting to your body. You're connecting through separation, right? Because you're not connecting to your atmospheric positions, guys, through the inner cycle or the outer cycle. It's the inner system that has to send the simulation interface to its connection, because you're floating in space through its proactive cycle. Everybody's floating in space. So it's truly understanding everything through your meditation graphs, right? I say that in my Space Discoveries 2, episode 1. Your meditation graph is everything through digital. Digital is everything through travel. Travel is everything through the mind. Mind is everything through the brain. Brain is everything through your connections of your thoughts, right? So you want to travel to the right position, the right location. Like I said, if you're line signaling, what are you line signaling? You're not signaling anything. You're just line signaling to where? What are you doing with the line signal? It has to activate through communication, right? That's how you communicate the universe. And people are frustrated why they don't get this and why they don't get that. Well, create your thought and take it where you want it to go. How are you going to get to your journey? How are you going to get to your mission? How are you going to get to where you want to go to travel? Right? And start appreciating everything around you through nature. You start doing that, everything around you will change. If you change yourself inside, everything around you will change through its community. That's the most important thing, guys, to really have to understand. But it's all connected through shapes of E equals MC square, or E equals mass velocity, a square of surface. Okay, so. Okay, Galactica, yep, I'll do that for you. Yeah, if you guys are feeling off, that's because your shapes are off the connections and the tesseract is not reading your location positions. So your shapes anomalies, and I was going into this problem, how her chakra system was off, so I just recentered it position. If it's lying off through communication, it's not signaling to its channels of its positive system. It's back on its negative rotation of wire. So you understand the inside of you is nothing but a chakra line of communication. So it's understanding all connections of your shapes that's in your body and how to use your paint locations to the right location through your holographic system of your thoughts of its recognition. And that's what gets us in trouble, is because we get so frustrated or we get level-headed and we don't know why, right? That alone changes the shape of your chakra. So it's understanding to reposition that, put a line signal back into the spine location, and you get better connections of dream locations to the circle rotation center. So you won't be caught in dimensions of realms or portals or anything in that connection. And you'll truly understand more of yourself through deciphering of its connection, truly understanding what you're dreaming. That's the positions you guys really have to understand. Okay, why we dream. You ever ask yourself that? Why do we dream? Even though we go 24/7 and we're going through perceptions, and what we dream was something different. What I see through my perception is not what I see through my dream. So everything that you're dreaming is trying to wake you up. I'll say that again. It's trying to wake you up. When you want to call it your higher self. Okay, your higher self is just higher vibration of you through plasma. So your generators and everything through your mind conception of your shapes is trying to wake you up through your dream. Okay, so the more you understand your past of its deciphering, you come into the presence of its position. Okay, but you have to go back to the presence of the past, of the past, of the past, of where you were born, and then you work your way up, and then you go up. Right? When you go up, then you can move forward. Right? So it's all about that tree growing. It's like, that's all it is. That's all it is. Okay, you'll see people like this meditating. 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 Everybody has a way of meditating. They're using their self as the tree to unite everything through space and time, because the galaxy opens up. You're all connections to your chakra line communications. It centers your gravities, your powers, and your atmospheres. Okay, so you're blooming at so many different levels of atmosphere colors, guys, right? Because you're all connected to your shapes, letters and numbers. It's just trying to understand what's going on with your shapes of yourself within. You have the GOD, the geometrics of operations of its dimension. Okay, we're not in direction, we're not in division, we're only in dimensions. Okay, once we get out of dimensions, we get into divisions. Division's a higher force when it comes into the galactic system. Okay, so, but yeah, Galactic, go through my email and I'll definitely scan you and upgrade your system again. Yep, is dense there, many dark realms. Yep. Well, yeah, you're doing your proactive cycle, what you need to do through connections. That's great. Everything that we send is everything through vibration of love. Okay, whatever's happening in the world today is going to change its position. It's going to change its shapes anomaly. It's going to change its direction. It's going to change its dream set position. It's going to change its body frame system. Everybody's going through an energetic waving pattern. Okay, so basically, space and time is trying to understand your circle rotation centers of your shapes. That's the positions it's in right now. That's why we're in so much chaos. But that's all going to balance out. That's all going to bounce out. Everything that I activated through code is going to bounce out everything. So, yep, you're extremely welcome. And you feel the energy too, Galactica. That's how powerful you are. It's how powerful you are with your thoughts, guys. Thoughts are recognizing you of nature, okay? Nature has its connection to its resistance, and then it becomes its phenomenal of its resistance, okay? And then you get connected to AI, which is aware of its information to its perception. You're seeing everything up close, right? So you see everything up close, it changes. See, it changes its position. So you see the background change? See how it changes the color? See what it's doing? Teleporting triangle division locations to different positions of you through calculation. So it's putting you in different divisions of realms. It's really cool when you do these things, right? But you have to understand you through your holographic system, through calculation, right? Because your integration has to understand everything through your thought, through lights. Your thought, your body, your activation, your colors, and everything comes together through the chakra system. Communicate to higher force connections of travel. Out. And then surface around. And come back. Send it out. That's what it is. I just traveled billions of years in the future. Now I'm back in position. Because my center position is never going to leave, because it's the information system to its simulation of its interface, which is the Earth. Okay? So, just going through your questions. But you guys are going to feel a lot better now because you traveled, right? And that traveling will put you in a better line signal, line activation to your connections of your chakra systems, right? But really understand yourself through your 12. That's the positions you have to understand. Then you understand everything through the tesseract, how it's going in a different atmospheric position, a different line communication through humanity. Humanity has to get into mind telepathy, which is 5D activation, right? So that's the communication you have to get into, right? Think of it this way. You have a computer. You love your computer. And then you come across and you buy another computer, but you don't understand it because it's a higher software. It's a higher hardware. Okay, it has a higher energy, has a higher vibration, has a higher dimension, has a higher portal, has a higher code. So what do? You get to know it, right? That's what it is. You position yourself. You have your computer, you keep it aside, but you're buying another computer, right? So you're changing programs. So you're trying to understand this now because you got to set up a whole new creative system to your computer, right? Apps, archives, everything to that connection, right? Storage of information, right? through its faults and its defaults, or anything through its defrags or its fragmentation, or anything through its astrologics. So that's a position you got to put yourself in. Try to understand your higher formation of computer. Try to understand, your old programs. You're setting it aside. You're deleting it. You're leaving it. And you're coming into a new program setting. Right? So you're trying to set up your own computer to its new position of activation, right? Through data processing. So, but I don't want to get too complicated. But right now, we just want to get into everything through shapes and anomalies of travel. And we got to get into higher formations of ourself. Truly understand your 12 atmosphere positions, 7 within the body, 5 within the atmosphere. Okay. Tomorrow, we'll get more into calculations of who we are through letters and numbers. I want you guys to get into 4 element systems. Okay. Wind grabbing systems, letters, numbers, and shapes. And then we get into the body activation line signal to its connection of its thought recognition of its positive center. That will put you in a point division location back into the center positions, right? So that's the propagandas we have to get out of and get into the new program setting through a computer operation systems. Okay, and I probably will have Space Discoveries 2, episode 2, probably out on Friday or Saturday. I'll let you guys know, all right? Okay, I love you guys very much. You can go through my email, go through consultations, you go through simulation therapy, whatever you want to do. Bring your family, friends, or loved ones. They have to be healed through formation. They get a better understanding of who they are through calculation as we're coming into telepathy systems, that simulation interface. Adios.